She would have been just shy of her 5th birthday when her body was placed in the dumpster.
A young girl found dead in a dumpster, identified. Tonight, Toronto police with an update on a disturbing discovery in Rosedale just over a year ago. Good evening. It is a heartbreaking mystery that gripped the city.
And while so many questions about the girl's death remain unanswered, at least now we know her name. CTV's Siobhan Morris joins us live from police headquarters, where the lead investigator held a news conference late this afternoon. Siobhan.
Well, Nathan, if you think of this case as a jigsaw puzzle, we know that one piece is now in focus. Inspector Hank Nzenga says we got to this point after a tip that came into police many months ago and some DNA evidence. So police do now have a name for the remains of the girl that were found in a dumpster outside a home under construction in Rosedale last May. Police didn't know her name, where she'd come from, even how old she might have been. So they pulled together a composite sketch based on her remains to try and help the case along. Police believe that she may have died as far back as the summer of 2021, but they weren't really sure. Now, with an identification of this girl, police are able to say that she was placed in that dumpster right before her 5th birthday.
Thanks to a tip from the community and some great work by investigators and the Center of Forensic Sciences, I can now identify this little girl as Nevaeh Tucker of Toronto. The tip itself wasn't specific, let me say that. It pointed us in a direction, and a lot of work had to be done on that information. It actually did identify somebody else as being the potential victim, but the windfall from that tip ended up taking us in the right direction. So it was a lot of work, and we're very grateful to the person who did call in and provide us with that information. It gave us that little jigsaw puzzle piece, and we were able to build from there.
And Nzenga admits there's still a lot of work ahead, including trying to solve the answer of how Nevaeh died. Was it murder? Was it an accident? Some form of neglect? We do know that her mother was notified of her identification as the girl in the dumpster earlier today. We don't have any information, though, about what her family situation, where she might have been living before her death.
In May 2022, remains of an unidentified little girl was discovered near a dumpster located in Rosedale neighborhood of Toronto. The police responded to the scene, and a postmortem examination was completed, allowing investigators to confirm the unknown girl was likely between the ages of 4 and 7, and that she had been deceased since at least the summer or fall of 2021. The girl was described as Black or African American, 36 inches tall. 3 feet 6 inches tall, and a thin build. Her hair had been sectioned into ponytails, braids, and tied back with elastic bands. The girl's death could not be determined. During the course of the investigation, law enforcement were able to determine the girl's remains were left in an area only a few days prior to the discovery. A composite sketch was created by the forensic artist of the Toronto Provincial Police and released to the public in hopes that the girl could be identified. Toronto Police provided additional information to the public regarding a vehicle of interest as well as articles of clothing and hoped that these would lead to the girl's identification. However, the girl's identification could not be determined and virtually all leads were exhausted. In June 2023, Toronto Police Services identified the unknown girl as 4-year-old Nevaeh Tucker. Tucker was born on May 18, 2017 in Toronto, Canada. Tucker's death is under investigation and will provide more details as they become available. You guys, this is so sad. This girl was in CPS custody in Ontario. Oh my gosh, you guys. And the courts gave her back to her mother, who really didn't want Nevaeh. Oh my God. This is sad. and how a child who has been under protection could end up dead in a dumpster with no one looking for her in the intervening months are held responsible for her death. If she was under CPS, they were watching her. They didn't come to the house to check up on her. This is crazy. Her name is subject of court ordered publication ban and preventing identifying members of her family. Why? Once her decomposed remains were found wrapped in blankets by a contractor in a posh neighborhood, Toronto police began efforts to discover her identity, eventually relying on DNA testing. A rare public court record from a Child, Youth, and Family Services Act hearing held in June to consider the future of Nevaeh's younger siblings. It was revealed her mother, who has an extensive history with child protection agencies and substance abuse challenges, had likely hidden the pregnancy, and Nevaeh had limited prenatal care. Toxicology reports at her birth. Toxicology reports at her birth revealed marijuana, prompting the New York Region Child's Aid Society to obtain a protection order that placed the newborn into the care of a foster family. At just 5 days old, the court records show the mother's 6 children at various points in their lives have been taken into care by Child Protective Services in York and Peel regions in Ontario. While with her foster parents, Nevaeh was diagnosed with developmental delays and deemed nonverbal at the age of 2 and was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder before her third birthday. This here is wow. After Nevaeh's mother gave birth to a boy around her second birthday, he was placed in the care of the same foster family at the age of 5 months. I was concerned about the mother's alcohol and drug use. And this woman just kept having kids. Just kept having kids. Then in March 2020, as the world was locking down for the COVID-19 pandemic, came a reevaluation of their protection status and resulted in Nevaeh and her younger brother placed back in the care of their mothers, but under supervision of child welfare authorities. Big mistake. 4 months after that, the York Region Child's Aid Society flagged concerns, and the mother had broken the supervision argument by moving to a new residence in Ontario. The case was transferred to the Toronto Children's Aid Society 6 months later. The mother and Toronto CAS requested the courts end the supervision order for Nevaeh and her younger brother. They signed concerns about the children's care had eased. They have been registered and again attending a downtown daycare center. The supervision order has ended on March 31st, 2021, but the 2 children never showed up for the daycare as scheduled the next day or at all. Nevaeh vanished in June. Erwin Elmay was served as Ontario's child advocate from 2008 to 2019 when the position was eliminated by the Ford government. We must learn. Nevaeh fell through the cracks of the child protective system. We must learn about where these errors of judgment come from. It's unacceptable that nobody knew this child was missing. Taylor and her party's longtime children's critic, there's no I'm sorry, there's no we made a mistake. It's completely unacceptable. In Nevaeh's death, because a police investigation into the case is continuing, a coroner's inquest is a judicial hearing that probes the circumstances of a death, determines how it happened, and presents recommendations to prevent similar tragedy, but not assign blame. Okay, well, again, the state. It was the state. Well, the country she's in. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. Every story that I've been doing involves CPS. And these babies end up getting murdered by their parents. You guys, Allegedly, my opinion, I think the mother did it. I really think the mother did it. All she could have did was just tell the court she didn't want her baby. That foster family could have kept the baby or adopted that baby. That mother did not have to hurt that baby like that. Again, like I said in another video I did last week, they pick and choose who gets their kid and who doesn't. Good parents get their kids taken away and their kids get adopted out. But these bad parents, they get to keep their kids. This is not fair to people who really loved their kids, who really took care of their kids and did nothing wrong to their babies. But they always say, oh, we have to take this seriously because kids died. This is ridiculous. This little girl should be my eldest daughter's age. This little girl should be 8. But now she's lying in the ground and it's just a pile of dirt. All because a mother didn't want her kids. And she said that she didn't want her kids, especially Nevaeh. That's something they should have took seriously and not gave the kid the mother back. And I know there's parents out there hurting who just want their kids back, who's fighting. These people won't give them back. But they give these kids back to these people who clearly say they don't want them, who clearly show they have a history and don't care. Why didn't they arrest the mother? Why didn't they do an investigation into this mother? It's not right. It's definitely not right. CPS is to blame. They always say, we're too busy, too many cases, too many people. We get to you when we can get to you. They never call you back. They don't answer your calls. They just seem like you're invisible, just another person. But when they know that you love your kids and you do anything, they won't give them back. That's the sad part. This little this little girl was unwanted, and they knew that. The story breaks my heart for this little girl. And they did nothing to protect her. 6 months and done. Gave that girl back to a drug addict. I wonder where the son is, or where her other kids are. This is ridiculous. CPS everywhere needs to revamp their system because it shouldn't have happened to that little girl. You guys tell me in the comments below what you guys think about this heartbreaking story of this little girl. They failed to protect her like all the other stories I'm doing. I know I shouldn't say this, but I think the people who run CPS, not the employees, not the workers, not the social workers, because they get their orders from upper. I think all those people should be arrested. The directors, the I don't know, the CEO, whoever should be arrested for these kids dying like this and not investigating it and not caring enough. But when you're an innocent mom and your babies are taken from you and you're very vocal about it, that's when they want to snatch your kids. But they didn't want to snatch hers. There's a few more videos coming about this. Stories about this. This is very sad. Leave your comment below. Have a great day, YouTube.